Well, the convention space at the CenturyLink Center, Mary, you know what? It's big. You know how 200,000 square feet. That's what 200,000.
Like your house.
It's almost that big, right? It's going to be full this weekend with everything from today's farmers and ranchers to all their needs.
Yes, a lot of tradition too. This is the 50th year for the largest show of its kind in the Midwest.
Bob Mancuso heads up the Triumph of Ag Expo. Good to see you, Bob.
Hey,
welcome back.
Thank you.
50 years, right?
50 years, so that's great. Yeah,
So,
what a tradition.
What's behind this whole thing? Explain what it is.
Well, the Triumph of Agriculture Farm and Ranch Machinery Show. So it's everything to do with farming and ranching, but all different types. There's crops, you know, the beef, everything to do with the farm and ranch. So it's just a great show. Services, products, equipment, all facets of the farm and ranch industry.
What do you point to for the longevity of this event?
You know, Omaha, the thing, you know, in the old days, we were much more not as big, and we weren't, you know, 50 years ago, weren't, you know, and all the farmland was around us, and it still is. But we're still a great center for agribusiness, and we still have all the farmland in Iowa and Nebraska, and Omaha's right here in the middle on the river. So it's a great location for a show, and it's great for western Iowa and eastern Nebraska especially, although we draw like a 7-state area.
Wow.
But those two areas especially are our core customers and the farmers and ranchers that come to the show.
Yeah, and you're pretty keen on your timing too, because it is planting season here coming up.
Right.
But what features or elements return this year that are some of your favorites?
Right. Some of the new features, especially, drones are big nowadays.
Yeah.
So, and they're economical and efficient. You know, like a few years ago, we actually had a helicopter at the show because they would use that helicopter for crop dusting, different things like that, surveying. Nowadays, they can fly the drones up, so there's a couple drone companies that'll be at the show, but they help farmers with all those different types of things.
And it's so much more cost efficient for those farms, and they still get super reliable data.
Great data. And nowadays, as we know, the technology, not only in the world, but just in farming and ranching, with big data, there's so much they can do with that drone data to then feed it into their systems and survey their land and all those different types of things.
Is it about the efficiency of the farm then? I mean, it's still like, you know, it's what a lot of us think about a farm being, and sure, the tradition's there too, but really they're trying to do more, make better use of their time, having onboard stuff on the tractors. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, well, and the yield. So that whole thing with efficiency is big with the farmers, and some people think they just kind of plant the stuff and it grows, and
there's a science. There's a real science
behind
and
the technology of the rows, and the more crops they can get in rows, and water. So irrigation and water is a huge issue just in general. You know,
and it's not just the products that you have that for some of the displays, but you also have these seminars that can help these farmers and ranchers maximize the land that they have. So what are some of the seminars that you have?
Some great seminars. You know, in the farming world, succession planning is a big issue. So there's a couple seminars each day on succession planning that'll help the farmers and ranchers with the next generation, what they should do with their plans and their retirement. And then there's also, one of the favorite ones is this year we have Elwin Taylor. He's the state climatologist from Iowa State University. So he'll be at the show. He speaks once each day on what's to expect for the crops and the weather for 2016. And that, of course, you know, with farmers and ranchers, and everyone, they love talking about the weather, what's new, what's going to happen.
Impact,
Because what can't you control, but yet it impacts your business almost greater than anything else. And you can't do a darn thing about it. It's just good to know what's coming your way.
And you can plan. You know, you'll know about your irrigation, whether that's going to be needed, and what the forecast is with drought, and it'll help in planting. When to plant, should I wait a little longer or not? It'll come into play in the harvest time and all that. So, and then there's some good ones on beef checkoff. Nebraska's Beef Council, Iowa's Beef Council are both there. They're doing a seminar on the beef checkoff and what that's about. So a lot of diversity in the seminars, and something really for everybody.
You have a luncheon too that you do every year. Who's speaking at that, Bob?
This year we have the opening luncheon, and people can still, if they call in today or tomorrow, they can still get a reservation. So that's a separate cost for that. It is $20 for the luncheon. But Greg Ibach, who's Nebraska's Director of Ag, he'll be the featured speaker talking about Nebraska and the unity of Nebraska and agriculture in our state.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, I was asking the guys at the Omaha Film Festival, what was their first festival like 11 years ago, right? But now 50 years ago, can you imagine how much has changed in agriculture since you guys held your first expo?
Right, so much, it's the same, but yet there's so much new. You know, because there is equipment, you'll see new tractors. We do have some antique tractors there also, so there'll be some antique tractors that people can look through and check those out. But then, you know, then there'll be the new tractors, new equipment, bins, you know, even roofing companies, all different facets.
And some of the GPS on these new tractors to help in terms of precision and what where to attack on your
Right.
land.
Yeah.
But it's just like every other facet of our lives where technology, I mean, every 6 months, if you're not up to speed, you feel like
Right.
you're behind. It's the same. So it's good to come to these shows to see what are the manufacturers bringing us now,
Right.
so that you understand, like, how is this going to make a difference in my life and on my farm?
Right, and what's in the future, so as things are developing, it gives them a hint of what's to come in the future, and they
Yeah.
can plan to say, should I buy today, or should I continue to monitor and see what's coming out? And so they look at those decisions, and the beauty of the farm show and being a trade show is it's at one place, one location. So
Yeah.
these farmers and ranchers can come over 200,000 square feet, check out what's new, talk to those experts on the different, fields and the different equipment, different aspects, and then decide what they'd like to do in the future.
We're going to show some ticket information right here, but is this good just for farmers and ranchers, or people like me? Would they be interested
Right.
in something like that?
Well, if you're in a farm background, if you're from a farming background or you're interested in the aspect, agribusiness is actually very big in Omaha.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many companies, Valmont, ag companies in general, ag processing, Gavilon, different companies are involved in the whole ag process that are based in Omaha or in and around Omaha. Those people would be interested to be at the show, to come visit the show. Free admission.
Okay, because that's where, I like to ask that question. Hey, Bob, how much does it cost to get in?
Free admission for the
It's free.
50th year, so we try to make it great that they can come and
That's
enjoy.
awesome. Well, you can learn more online. It's showofficeonline.com, but it's coming up this week. Don't miss it.
We got to go, but who won the Agri Award?
Greg Ibach, the Nebraska Department
won
of
the
Ag.
award.
He won
And
the
he's
Agri Award,
speaking.
and
Great.
he's the speaker.
Thanks, Bob.
It's his
Appreciate
year.
it.
Thank
you,
you.
Bob.